Okay, so I think we are live now. Can any organizer want to take up the call? Like first, start the session.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. I, Dharashri Mishra from IT third semester, welcome you all to today's webinar with collaboration with Code for Cause. Today we have with us Ms. Ekta Mishra ma'am. She is the co-founder of Code for Cause, Google Coded Mentor at JBoss, and also an outreach 20 intern at Open Refine. As for today's topic and insight, the webinar is basically about the introduction to programming and development. I hope this session will clear out all your doubts about what to do and how to excel in your programming skills. Now, some important points. All of you are requested to keep your mics muted throughout the session. Uh, all of your queries and doubts will be cleared out at the end of the session. Till that, you can put all your doubts on the comment box. So thank you guys, and I hand over this session to ma'am.
Thank you, Dharashri, for such a kind introduction. It was very nice. And thanks for the instructions also. So it makes the session very fruitful and easy to handle. Okay, like it's not like totally prohibited for everyone to mute your mic. If you have like some query, you are feeling uncomfortable to write it into the comment box and you feel comfortable more to unmute and say your query, so you can, but the Q&A session will be at the end of the session. Like I'll take the session for 1 hour and then there will be a Q&A session. So if anyone feels like you have some query or some questions and you need answer for that or anything regarding the session and other than the topic or other than the session can also be addressed, that's not an issue. But you can ask those questions at the end, so there will be less disturbance and the session will be like very fluent enough. Okay, so we have this session on the topic introduction to programming and development. Actually we didn't have this like a particular topic like web development or maybe data structures algorithm or ML or something like this. We had this general topic and a beginner friendly topic, so that anyone who doesn't even have a single idea of what programming is, what is a programming language, and he or she have never even coded a small program of maybe prime number odd even or something like that, still that person can join this session and he or she can feel relatable to our talk and everything कि हाँ कि क्या कैसे कैसे होता है, कहाँ से शुरू किया जा सकता है, क्योंकि एक बार किसी को पाथ मिल जाता है then it becomes very easy to move on to that path. And डेस्टिनेशन सबको पता है, स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट सबको पता है. डेस्टिनेशन इज लाइक फाइनली मे बी योर ड्रीम स्टार्टअप, मे बी योर ड्रीम जॉब, लैंडिंग इनटू अ जॉब एट फैंग or maybe doing MBA, GATE, etc. So you have your destination in your mind, and the starting point is obviously where you are standing at right now. That is your starting point. So the starting point, the destination is known to you very well, but there's a journey between that, and uske liye ek shorter targets hona bahut important hai. Like having short term targets is very useful, क्योंकि अगर किसी को शॉर्टर स्टेप्स बोले जाते हैं वो इजीली ले पाता है, उसको एक फीलिंग भी आती है दैट आई एम डूइंग समथिंग प्रोडक्टिव, आई एम अटेनिंग समथिंग. उसको फेलियर सक्सेस से इतना फर्क भी नहीं पड़ता उस टाइम पे, है ना. सक्सेस से उसको मोटिवेशन आती है, बट उस शॉर्ट टर्म टारगेट को अगर वो नहीं अचीव कर पाता तो उसके फेलियर से उसको ज्यादा फर्क नहीं पड़ता है ना, क्योंकि वो बहुत शॉर्ट टर्म टारगेट होता है. तो वही चीज होती है कि हमेशा शॉर्टर टारगेट्स रखने चाहिए अपनी लाइफ में, और एक पाथ डिजाइन कर लेना चाहिए, एक पाथ समझ लेना चाहिए कि किससे फॉलो करना है. जिन लोगों के घर में पहले से आई थिंक इफ समवन हैव सम रिलेटिव जिसने बीटेक कर रखी है, इफ समवन इज हैविंग एल्डर सिबलिंग्स who has done earlier BTech, or maybe he's even a diploma in this or have some background of CS, maybe even that is BCA. BCA is not something only PCM students some can do, but it's a general field and people do take that, and after that they excel in CS field. सो वो भी है। किसी के घर में भी अगर ऐसा कुछ गाइडेंस है, इवन इफ समवन हैज अ गुड कॉलेज एंड देयर इज अ गुड कोडिंग सोसाइटीज और गुड टाइप ऑफ सीनियर्स हु आर वेरी supportive, helping, they are always there to provide you path, to help you solve your dilemmas, etc. So that is also a plus point. So उसको भी कोई दिक्कत नहीं आएगी, बट प्रॉब्लम कहाँ होती है? प्रॉब्लम आती है टू अस, टू tier 2, tier 3 colleges, and the problem is with path and guidance, that's all. So path और guidance में क्या problem है? क्या कहते हैं कि लोगों को पता ही नहीं है कि किस तरह से शुरुआत करनी। For example, if I start with myself, so I was a very studious child, or I should say I am, I don't know, but I was a very studious child from like nursery, first KG, till 12th, and whatever path I followed till 12th, I followed the same path in the first year, and that resulted, I will not say total failure, but not as much productive as it should be in the first year of BTech. अगर किसी अदर बंदे को जिसको ज्यादा गाइडेंस होगी, उसका जितना प्रोडक्टिव फर्स्ट ईयर होगा उतना प्रोडक्टिव मेरा नहीं था। क्यों नहीं था? बिकॉज लैक ऑफ गाइडेंस। इसलिए क्योंकि अच्छा, कॉलेज और स्कूल को दो अलग टर्म्स क्यों देते हैं? स्कूल को स्कूल क्यों बोलते हैं और कॉलेज को कॉलेज क्यों बोलते हैं? इसका एक मतलब रीजन होगा ना, अदरवाइज हम इसको भी स्कूल ही बोल देते और स्कूल के साथ मर्ज कर देते। स्ट्रीम्स तो हमारी स्कूल में भी चेंज होती हैं, हम साइंस, आर्ट्स, कॉमर्स से डिवाइड होते हैं, पीसीएम, पीसीबी में डिवाइड होते हैं, काफी चीजों में डिवाइड होते हैं। एंड लेकिन हमें तो 11th-12th में तो कॉलेज नहीं कहते, ऑल्दो मुंबई वगैरह में कहते हैं, बट यहाँ नहीं कहते, जनरल इन टर्म्स में नहीं कहते। तो 11th-12th को तो स्कूल ही कहते हैं ना। क्यों? क्योंकि वहां पर पढ़ने का वे, डेवलप करने का वे है ना, एक्सेल करने का वे सिमिलर होता है जो 10th तक फॉलो किया। बट जो भी आपने 12th तक पढ़ने का यूज किया है, जिस तरह से आप रहे, उस तरह से आप कॉलेज में नहीं रह सकते। कॉलेज इज अ डिफरेंट एनवायरनमेंट, और वहां पर आपको आगे बढ़ने के लिए या कुछ प्रोडक्टिव करने के लिए कुछ डिफरेंट करना पड़ेगा, है ना, कुछ डिफरेंट पाथ यूज करना पड़ेगा। व्हाट आई डिड इन फर्स्ट ईयर की मैं, जैसे मेरे को था कि मुझे हर जगह से अप्रिशिएशन मिलती थी पढ़ने के लिए, सबके लिए, तो व्हाट आई डिड इज कि मैंने अपना पूरा बीटेक करिकुलम फॉलो किया, अच्छे से मार्क्स लाए, है ना, यूनिवर्सिटी टॉपर हो गए, रैंक 1 आ गई, सब कुछ हो गया। बट एग्जैक्टली क्या वो सक्सेस कहोगे आप एक कॉलेज में? सो मेरे हिसाब से मतलब उसे फेलियर नहीं कहूंगी, बट उसे सक्सेस भी नहीं कहूंगी। अगर मुझे डिफाइन करना है कि बीटेक के फर्स्ट ईयर में क्या इसे मैं सक्सेस डिफाइन करूंगी, तो उसे सक्सेस भी डिफाइन नहीं करूंगी, है ना। तो इस तरह की चीजें नहीं है मेरे साथ। तो देन मेरे को समझ में आया कि ऐसे तो नहीं चलेगा चीज, है ना। और सीएस के थे, तो सीएस में समझ में आया कोडिंग कॉम्पिटिशन्स वगैरह होने लगे, कोडिंग कॉम्पिटिशन्स होने लगे। मुझे प्रोग्रामिंग सिर्फ उतनी ही आती थी, उतनी ही पता थी जो मैंने 11th-12th में, मेरे पास कंप्यूटर साइंस थी, सो आई हैड C++, एंड आई न्यू बेसिक सिंटेक्स ऑफ C++, क्लासेस, ऑब्जेक्ट्स, फंक्शंस, if else conditions, basic, and whatever the program teacher used to like teach in क्लासरूम, सो मैं उतने प्रोग्राम कर लेती थी, ऐसा रहता था मेरा सीन। तो उतनी प्रोग्रामिंग मेरे को पता थी। देन आई पार्टिसिपेटेड इन कोडिंग कॉम्पिटिशन्स एक्सेट्रा, एंड मेरे को मतलब किसी भी कोडिंग कॉम्पिटिशन में मेरा कुछ अच्छा नहीं हो रहा था, कुछ भी नहीं कर पाई थी मैं। कॉम्पिटिटिव प्लेटफॉर्म्स पे भी हम नहीं कर पा रहे थे क्वेश्चंस। सो दैट वाज द पॉइंट, आई रियलाइज दैट दिस इज नॉट द करेक्ट पाथ। अगर करेक्ट होता तो मेरे को फिर मतलब फेलियर्स क्यों मिलते? बट द गुड थिंग अबाउट दिस इज कि जितना आप लाइफ में पहले फेलियर देख लेते हैं ना, आपको समझ में आ जाता है। और इट्स गुड कि आप लाइफ में पहले ही थोड़ा सा फेलियर देख लो। स्टार्टिंग में अगर सब कुछ स्मूथ चलेगा ना, और आपको थोड़ा बाद में कभी फेलियर मिलेगा, सो इट विल बी डिफिकल्ट फॉर यू टू हैंडल द फेलियर्स। सो इट विल बी रियली डिफिकल्ट टू हैंडल द फेलियर्स एट दैट पॉइंट। देयरफॉर अर्ली लाइफ में मिल रहा है, अर्ली लाइफ में हमें इतना हार्ड भी नहीं लगता, इतना शॉकिंग नहीं लगता, हैंडल करने में दिक्कत भी नहीं होती किसी को। हाँ कि यार चल कोई नहीं, ठीक है, छोटी सी चीज थी, छोटा सा कोडिंग कॉम्पिटिशन था, नहीं हुआ, कोई नहीं। फॉर सपोज 4th ईयर में हो और गूगल Amazon का टेस्ट दे रहे हो, वहां पर वो टेस्ट बहुत खराब गया और तब समझ में आया। सो देन इट्स लाइक ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम है। अभी मुझे नहीं पता कि मतलब कितने यहाँ पर फर्स्ट ईयर में है। श्योर आई कैन। मेरे को लगा कॉलेज ज्यादा इधर नॉर्थ के साइड होगा, दैट्स व्हाई आई वाज यूजिंग हिंदी। ओके, सो कोई मतलब कैन लाइक जस्ट यू कैन सेंड मैसेजेस लाइक हाउ मेनी of you are from first year, from second year, from third year, fourth year, so just I can have a rough idea what kind of audience we have. Okay, so even if on the YouTube live, you can send in the live chat, first year, second year. I was expecting the same, that most of the audience will be from first year and second year, because this topic is very lucrative to first year and second year only, where people are very new, very like beginner friendly to programming. So that's really good that the audience is mostly from first year, second year. Even if you are from third year or fourth year, the guidance, the path, whatever you need to know about programming and all is whatever you need to know about programming and all is the same for first year, for second year, for third year, fourth year, everyone. It's same. Nothing is new. If you are in third year and you have to start programming, so the thing, the path, everything is same for you also. Starting from programming, like let me share my screen so that if I have to write so starting from the point like programming. So what programming is, this word programming. So people say that a machine can do anything. Okay, so first of all, I would like to correct this statement that machine can't do anything. Your machine can't drink an orange juice. So that is very much pretty obvious that your machine can't do everything. But your machine can do a large set of things, a number of things, and which is very difficult for a human. Although human has designed a machine, human has designed laptops, computers, everything, but still today, in today's world, machine is resulting in more efficient way than a person or a normal human being. So your machine can do a number of things, but for accomplishing that particular task, to do a particular thing, to provide instruction to your computer, it is necessary to provide the machine a program. And what is program? Simple, like from where the programming word is coming, so that is program. And program is set of instructions. Simple. If it's nothing, anything complex or anything, it's very simple, that program is set of instructions. And a program, if I say program, so it is a static form. Like if I have written some kind of program, for example, I have created a class in Java, and then I declared some variables, 3 variables. I provided input to those 3 variables, and I then print the sum of all those 3 variables. So writing those instructions, that you have to define 3 variables, you have to take input of those 3 variables, then you have to perform an operation, that is add all those 3 variables, and then print the sum of those 3 variables. So this is just instruction. But when you run that particular program, even if that program is very simple, that program is just printing hello world, so that is an instruction that on the console, you have to print this particular string, hello world. So that is the instruction. When I run that program and that program goes into a dynamic state, it is known as process. So this is like very basic thing, which is kind of theoretical thing also, which all of you as already know in during your studies in school or college or anything. So this is the dynamic state of a program, that while a program is running, so that is called process, and while it is in the static state, it is known as program. So when those set of instructions which are written in a program are going to execute, that is called a process. So this is the basic thing, what program is, what programming is. And we are not going to discuss these kind of theoretical things here, because everyone here, I suppose, I expect that you all are very much aware of these kind of things. So what I am going to discuss here is, you all want to be programmer, you all want to start coding, you want to do coding, you want to do competitive coding, that is CP, you want to learn data structures, algorithms, and then you want to move on to okay, so am I muted? Not okay, so you want to do competitive programming, data structures, algorithms, and learn algorithms. You want to write algorithms on your own. So these are the things. Then you want to move on to the development field. obviously, because what we all do when we get a dream job or maybe a simple job, what we do over that job, we do either web development, Android development, maybe middleware or development engineering, development tools, play with development tools, or game development. Maybe we create apps, iOS, Android, something like this. Machine learning, research field. These are the general development fields where we move on after learning the basic programming. So we want to move to these actual parts. So I'll move to the practical part, not to the theoretical part, like what it is or what it is defined, what is termed. No. So for me, if I want to start programming, first of all, people say that programming is something that requires high IQ. That is something not everyone can do programming and all. So I want to say that no, anyone can do programming. For me, it is because BTech, फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर मैं कहती हूँ कि बीटेक है, सो बीटेक इज ओके, बीटेक इज अ फील्ड जो कि तुम्हें पीसीएम एक्सेट्रा से मिलती है. इट्स ओके, आई एक्सेप्ट दैट बीटेक इज समथिंग अ फील्ड जो कि थोड़ा सा मतलब अगर गीकी हो या इंटेलिजेंट हो, देन ओनली यू विल गेट एडमिशन टू अ बीटेक कॉलेज. आई एक्सेप्ट दैट फैक्ट, दैट्स टोटली ओके. But what about fields like BCA? And I have worked with people who have done BCA and they are excelling in the field of CS, and they are owning their own startups, startups in IT industry, and some of them have also qualified for GSOC, and they are currently doing they have done GSOC in big organizations, open source, etc., and they are having jobs in fan companies, etc. So, and BCA, anyone can enroll for BCA. Anyone, literally anyone can enroll for BCA. Like even if you from arts or commerce or science, any field you can enroll for it. And in BCA also you do the same thing, you do programming. And also, first of all, remove this fact from your mind that whether I can do programming or not. Anyone can do if you develop an interest. अब इंटरेस्ट की बात आती है, ठीक है. इंटरेस्ट मीन्स when you feel like loving this thing, or you find a fun in that particular thing. अब फन कहाँ से आएगा? फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर मैं एक छोटी सी एनालॉजी लूं, अगर बहुत मतलब मे बी किसी को रिलेटेबल लगेगी, फॉर सम इट इज नॉट. ओके, एक बच्चा है, लाइक 3-year kid, and he just started his schooling, and he has started learning ABCD basically, है ना. So initially what he learns ABCD, and कोई घर में रिश्तेदार आता है तो क्या कहता है कि हाँ यार रिश्तेदार आए हैं, तो बच्चे को खड़ा कर देते हैं कि ABCD सुनाओ, है ना, जनरल वे में. तो क्या उसको वो ABCD सुनाने में मजा आ रहा है, लाइक ABCD ये चीज? नो, he is not finding fun over it. So similar thing happens in the case of programming too, that when we start from like learning the syntax. First of all, we choose a language. Okay, first of all, we choose a language. We'll discuss all these points. We're like not skipping it. Then we learn syntax, and then we write short programs. Okay. Then we move on to some CP platforms, like where we can practice that and then participate in contest, etc. So जो फन पार्ट होता है वो इतने में नहीं आता, दैट इज द ABCD ऑफ द लैंग्वेज. एंड while learning just ABCD of the language, you can't have that fun. कब आता है यार? जब हम छोटे छोटे प्रोग्राम्स लिख लेते हैं. एंड देन वी मूव ऑन टू प्लेटफॉर्म्स लाइक कोडशेफ, लीड कोड, हैकर रैंक, कोड फोर्सेस, स्पॉज, एक्सेट्रा. एंड there we submit one question, second question, third question, and we see that our answers got accepted, our answers got partially accepted, our rank are higher than other of your college, or maybe someone you know. So that is the fun part. जब वहां पर मजा आने लगता है. क्या होता है जब initially we write small programs की यार prime number, greatest of 3, or maybe odd even, or simple interest, compound interest type programs like this, ये जरूरी है. इनको लिखना क्यों जरूरी है? बिकॉज दीज आर ABCD ऑफ प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेजेस. सो अगर इनको स्किप कर दिया, सो यू विल नेवर बी एबल टू राइट वर्ड्स, राइट सेंटेंसेस. बच्चे को मजा कब आने लगता है? जब वो इंग्लिश में सेंटेंसेस फ्रेज करने लग जाता है. देन ही स्पीक्स इन इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज that is the point where he finds fun in that language. Whether he finds like जब वो पोएम क्या कहते हैं पोएम बोल सकता है, वो स्टोरी नरेट कर पाता है इंग्लिश में, दैट इज द पॉइंट जब वहां पर उसको मजा आने लगता है किसी चीज को सीखने के लिए. इनिशियली किसी को एबीसीडी में मजा नहीं आता, और सेम चीज वही होता है, क्या कहते हैं कि इनिशियली you will not find interesting part in just like learning the syntax or choosing the language or maybe writing the short programs. So first point, choosing a language. How can you choose a language? So when you don't know anything about Java, you don't know anything about Python, you don't know anything about C++, you can't make your choice. That is pretty much clear that you can't make the choice when you don't know anything. What I say is, if you have someone who is like doing good in this field, or whom you think that is a good person who can guide you, so at that point take advice from them and understand which language is better for what thing. Like for Python is famous for faster development. Python is based for development. Java is known for reliable and secure development. So it is more reliable language, like for security purposes and for like bank purposes or something. So we prefer Java. C++ is a language that is obviously earlier. It's an older language than Python and Java, and it is known for kernel level development. So if anyone is interested in operating system, kernel level development, Linux, etc., so then those person can go. But other than that, these basic three languages are very much known for competitive programming. So initially what we do, we don't directly jump into development part. We don't jump into development part. We initially try to learn a basic language. We try to solve small problems. So initially we just have this kind of thought, like in which language we can write programs basically for the competitive platforms. For like if I have to participate in some contest, or if I have to practice basic problems on some platform like LeetCode, HackerEarth, then on those platform, for those platform, which language I should go for. So that is the basic thought behind choosing a language. What I say, you can choose any of these three. Irrespective of how good, how bad a language is out of these three, you can go with any three. If you think that you have picked Java and you have taken a bad decision, you should have gone with Python or C++. No, it's okay to go with Java. You can go with Python, C++. You can go with any language, any of these languages. Why I am not mentioning any other languages like Go, Scala, Ruby, Kotlin, COBOL, Fortran? Why I'm not mentioning these kind of programming language? There is a particular reason why I'm not mentioning these other languages, because when you apply for placements, or when you apply for a specific coding contest, sometimes the companies or the contest restrict you that you can submit your solution only in these three languages. So therefore, initially choosing a language out of these three is more preferable enough, rather than going with JavaScript, Go, Ruby. You can learn all these languages and you can use these languages for a particular library, for a framework, for a particular open source project. I'm not saying that you should not learn, but for a first language, pick any of these three. Because I know that in Google, Amazon, some companies like that, for moving on to the technical interview, I'm supposing that you have already qualified the online coding challenge. You have passed the resume shortlisting. You have qualified the online coding challenge, and now you are moving to the technical interview round. So to the technical interview round, they give you three choices, only three choices, that pick any of these three languages in which you will complete your technical interviews. In technical interviews also, they ask you to write codes, while an interviewer is live judging you, so you have to write the codes, and you can only pick the language before the technical interview starts. After, like, you have given a problem, and then you are supposed to write the code. So you read the problem and you said you have this feeling that I know a particular library or maybe a Java collection framework, any data structure from Java collection framework that will be very helpful in this particular language, but I have chosen on Python initially. You can't switch in between. No, you can't switch in between. So you have to choose initially a language. So I prefer that you should go with any of these, even if people say that Python is 10x slower than C++, Java is 2x slower, and C++ is most preferable for competitive programming. If C++ has some advantages, Java and Python has other advantages too. It's very easy to switch to development field when you are programming for basic learning syntax and basic competitive programming or basic data structures algorithm. Python and Java provides a lot of functionalities. Python and Java has a lot of libraries, and a lot of, like, Java has collection frameworks, Python has other libraries. C++ also has this STL libraries, standard template libraries, so where there is already a lot of data structures, inbuilt data structures are there, many inbuilt functions are there. So those things are there, no doubt. Okay, so those things are already there, and I'm not denying those facts, but pick any of these three languages. If some language has some pros, then that particular language has cons also. So it's okay to pick any of them. You are not totally correct. You are not totally wrong in picking the first programming language. And if while working with that particular language, for suppose you picked up Java and then later on you thought that Java is not the language I want to work with, I want to shift to Python, you can. No one is like restricting you. At any point of time you can shift to any other languages, but initially pick any of these three. Don't go with some language, some rare kind of language which very less number of people use. So that's an advice from my side. Choice, every time the choice remains to you, so choose precisely, that's all. So once you have picked your programming language, basic programming language, then go with the syntax, like understand the syntax, understand the things. Yes. Hello. Yeah.
Can't we?
I can't hear. Yes. Yes. Can you repeat the question?
No.
Can't we choose C?
No, I will not repeat the question. Sorry.
You are requested to keep your mic muted. The questions you can write in the comment box.
Okay, so we are moving to syntax part. That if you have chosen your favorite programming language, or maybe the first programming language, and you can switch to other languages later on, so then you have to move on to the syntax part. That you have picked the Python language or maybe Java language, so now you are trying to understand the syntax, because why syntax is necessary for a normal person. For example, if I want to convey something to a person, तो मैं उसको कुछ थोड़ा ऊपर नीचे भी बोलूंगी, so that's okay. अगर मैं बस मतलब if I say shut up, so that person is know that what I mean to shut up. This small phrase says a lot, that shut your mouth. So that is very much like explainable or on its own कि हाँ यार तेरे को क्या बोल रहे हैं, वो उसको पता है. But for computers it's not like this. If you will even like add a simple dot or comma or anything which is unnecessary and which is not required or which is not in accordance to the syntax, the computer will not understand that instruction. The computer will not work accordingly. So that is the thing. So therefore it's very necessary to understand the syntax of each or every each language, or maybe the language in which you work. So it's very important if you are working with a particular language, so you should learn the syntax of that language. So syntax is very important. In the meantime, you might feel like what I'm doing is productive or not. I'm not getting the results I was targeting. So what I earlier said, that make short-term targets, and this is your short-term target, that be comfortable with that language. This is the short-term target. Like once I am comfortable with the Java, I know how to write conditional statements. Conditional statements is, if, else, else if. So these are the conditional statements. Then I am able to write loops, for, while, do while. So these are the loops. I don't prefer do while because do while is a risky loop. Like do while is, if someone is like running on a path and it has the end, the path has this end, and then there is a downfall. So like so if that person, and there is a condition कि जब तक road है तब तक दौड़, उसके आगे जब खाएगी तो रुक जा, है ना. So that is while loop. And इधर है क्या कहते हैं कि जब मतलब कि भागते रहो. डू वाइल में क्या होता है, डू वाइल इज पहले करना है एंड कंडीशन बाद में होती है कि when you have to stop जब खाइए. तो इसमें क्या होता है कि even if the condition is wrong, in case of do while, even if the condition is wrong, the loop will be executed at least once. So if the person is standing just overhead, and so first it will execute the loop at least once, that it will fall down, and then it will execute the in condition. Then it will check the condition that should I run after this or not. So do while is not a recommended loop. And कभी आप अगर आप देखोगे कोई ओपन सोर्स प्रोजेक्ट देखोगे कोई बड़ी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का, या some good project or maybe code in production or something, and उसका कोड ओपन करके देखोगे, so you will never find do while in the code. And if that code is very like it is written too many years ago, so that might be the case that there you can notice do while, but do while is not a recommended loop. So what I prefer is write your code with use of for and while. Okay, so where we are, after conditional statements, loops, try to write functions. This is a general path that should be followed irrespective of which language you have chosen. So that is function. Then you should move on to classes, understand OOPS. So object-oriented programming language. So Java, Python, C++, these all these three are object-oriented programming language. So that is important. Whichever language you have picked, you should understand the concepts, paradigms of object-oriented programming. That is very, very much important, highly recommended, and especially if you are a Java developer, because when you have chosen Java and you are going for some job interview or anything, the questions for Java specifically comes from the field of object-oriented programming. Maybe it will be from development side, but still it will require a high knowledge of object-oriented programming. So it is highly recommended thing that practice, make some classes, learn how inheritance work, learn how polymorphism, overriding, these kind of things work. So I recommend this and practice a lot. This you can't practice object-oriented programming on platforms like LeetCode, Hacker, and HackerRat. This is something you will get to practice only by implementing or writing classes on your own, just practicing on your own, or maybe while working in the development environment, maybe while contributing to some open source projects, etc., that use development, that has like development scope. So this was all about syntax. So if you are able to like write conditions, loops, functions, then you are able to understand basic data structures. When people say data structure, what comes first in your mind is stack, queue, linked list, etc. What I want to say is, okay, stack, queue, linked list, all these are data structures. They are basic linear data structures. But what you are missing while saying data structures is array, string builder, etc. Don't you think that string, array list, etc., these are not data structures according to you? What data structures is? Data structures are like mode of storing data in an organized form, so that the retrieval, storing, deleting, inserting, or editing the data becomes easy. Can't you like store things in an array? Can't you store things in a string? Obviously you can. For problems like where you have to take input and process over a large number, like very large number. For example, recently I gave an online coding challenge, and there what I noticed, like the input was 10 raised to power 10 raised to power 7. So you can imagine how long that number can be, how large that number can be. So obviously this kind of number can't be saved into int, long, float, double, anything. This can't be stored in this. Even if I talk about C++ and I take long, then also this number can't be saved in these kind of format. So what we should do in this this kind of problems, we should store it into string and then do the operations. Even if I talk about in terms of Java, I can't store this type of number in big integers also. Big integer is a data type in which in turn it acts like a normal integer, but internally it stores large integer into array of string or array of character, you can say. So it is internally a string, but from like it's kind of abstract data structure which is internally string, but from outside you will feel like it's basically an integer. But saving a number in big integer and then performing operations over it take a lot of time. So generally if you are working with big integer and the input is very large and the number of operations to be performed on that number is very large, you will encounter TLE, that is time limit exceeded. So it is a general error, or maybe you can say a general message which we notice on competitive programming. If someone is like practicing over 𝐂𝐮𝐝, code forces, lead code, hacker, anywhere, and from like pretty much good time, so he or she might have encountered this thing, that is time limit TLE exceeded. So he might be aware of what this is. This means that you should optimize your code in terms of time complexity. So this was all about syntax, that these are the basic things you should cover, and then you can say that I am comfortable with the syntax of Java, or I am comfortable with the syntax of Python, C++, anything. So this was all about syntax. Then you can do what you can do is move on to the practice stage. So then you can move on to the practice stage, and for practice you should first of all choose a platform. For platform, I have repeatedly picked some name like LeetCode, 𝐂𝐿, Code Forces, etc. So when I was in first year, some seniors came to our room, and as usual, like seniors take introduction and all. So what they did is they directed us that you are from CSE, you should do competitive programming, or etc. etc. So they were correct at their place that we should do competitive programming. I'm not denying that fact. Okay, we should do competitive programming, but what they said is you should try to practice competitive programming on 𝐂𝐿. And I am a first sem student, and it's just like second or third day of mine at college. Maybe I can be a student who never even wrote a program, just a basic hello world program, and they are directing me to 𝐂𝐿. Okay, so 𝐂𝐿 has this contest like long challenge or cook-off, lunchtime, etc. So, and these contest has rankings. This contest has rankings, and if you perform very bad in the contest, even if you have 5-star rating, that can like sharply jump into 1-star or 2-star. So this contest has rankings, and they are directing us to perform directly participate directly on the contest of 𝐂𝐿. So this is the wrong path. This is what I was saying, that if you have a path, if you have a guidance, if you know that what should be followed, it will be easy for you to move. So what you should initially do, once you are comfortable with syntax, you should not directly jump into the contest at Code Forces or 𝐂𝐿 or anywhere, or maybe weekly or bi-weekly contest of LeetCode. You should first try to understand a platform. There are many platforms like Spoj, LeetCode, 𝐂𝐮𝐝, okay, 𝐂𝐮𝐝, Codeforces, HackerEarth, HackerRank. So these are the platforms. So first of all, I'll prefer that initially when you are a beginner, so you should pick from HackerEarth or HackerRank, and there also don't go for the medium or difficult level problems initially. First of all, try to solve basic problems like easy level problems. There you will easily understand the platform. They have beginner friendly platform, and you can easily apply filter over it, and you can easily search for easy level problems. First, try to solve at least 50 easy level problems. Once you are comfortable with the easy level problems, then you can move on to the medium level problems. And when you are like you have done basic medium level problems, then you can switch on to any of these platforms. And what I suggest, don't jump onto all these platforms. No, just pick one or two platforms. Just pick one or two platforms and be consistent over it. What is important for a programmer, for a programmer, is to be consistent. Don't quit. Don't feel frustrated. Don't compare yourself with others. Your progress might be slow, but if you are consistent, then the graph will be consistent. So the graph will be an exponential growth graph, or maybe a linear increasing graph. So if you will be consistent, you will notice your growth, but don't compare your growth with the other person. That might be a good learner, that might be a fast learner, but if you are consistent, you will observe your productiveness. You will observe some improvement in yourself in some time, or yourself. No one is like needed to specify that you are doing good or no, you don't need anyone. You will notice your improvement on your own. Just be consistent and pick only one or two platforms, because these all platforms have similar kind of patterns, similar kind of problems. So if you will jump on all these platforms, you may find, you can say, repetitive problems on these platforms. Like you have done some 20-30 questions on this Spoj, and then you are finding similar kind of platforms, similar kind of questions on LeetCode. So that can be the thing. So only choose one or two. So this was about basic programming. So this is how you can improve your programming. And what I suggest is, while practicing on it, start learning data structures and algorithms. Don't wait for this, like for what should I do first? First I should learn data structures and algorithms and then do practice, or I should do practice and be comfortable with the syntax and then move on to the data structures. Do these things parallelly. Simultaneously you can learn data structures, you can practice. For example, today I am implementing a stack on my own. I'm making my custom stack. I'm implementing the stack on my own. I am understanding the complexities of the operation. So basic operations in most of the data structures is insert, delete, retrieve, update. So this is the basic operations. So these are the basic operations that is common in all the data structures. So understand the way of all these operations, complexity of these operations with regarding to each data structures. And while you will practice problems on these kind of competitive platforms, you will encounter that there are special algorithms for solving special problems. So this is how you can excel in the competitive programming or data structures in algorithm, or maybe basic programming in a general programming language. This was like very beginner friendly thing, that how you should start. You should not jump onto the like bigger target. You should start with these kind of things. So that was the basic thing. Now what about development field? Because for after doing competitive programming, and you have become good competitive programmer, you have attained 7-star, 6-star on 𝐶𝐮𝐫𝐠, etc., but you don't know anything about development side. So what will happen now? You don't know anything about the development side, but you are a 7-star at 𝐶𝐮𝐫𝐠. Okay, so now you have a good competitive platform. You have a competitive programmer profile, you have a good profile, okay, and you are expert in solving problems. So you will easily get into some fan company, because they highly emphasize on DSA and CP, competitive programming. So they highly emphasize on it. But once you have got your dream job, now what? You have entered the job, now what? In the job, you have to do development. What is your post when you get a job? That is SDE1 generally, that is software development engineer. So software development engineer, the term, the post in itself has the word development. That means once you have got the job, you have to do development. So when you are totally blank about development, you have done nothing in the field of development in these 4 years, how you will feel when you enter a job. When you have entered the job, no one will wait for you to learn development. No one will wait, and like no one will teach you. No one will teach you. Everyone will be like, this is a new person, just throw him out, and this like this. They have this behavior in job, and this is how work culture is in our industries, in our IT industries. So you should have a basic idea of development. Even if you are a good competitive programmer, extremely good competitive programmer, you should have basic idea of development. When I talk about development, so there are multiple fields in development. There are multiple fields. What are the initial fields? Like for a beginner, which fields are open to him? So for a beginner, the basic fields can be web development, for sure. Mostly जो basic जनता होती है वो web की तरफ ही भागती है ना? So web development, there is like huge community working in web development. So if you get stuck at some point, you can have like lots of help and lots of Stack Overflow things on online. So if you will get stuck at some point, you will definitely get some help online. Android development, or I should not say Android development, that is mobile development, because web and these are platform dependent development. So mobile development, this is the thing. And in mobile development, iOS, Android, everything comes under this. You can't say you are an iOS developer. You should say you are a mobile development, and you are doing mobile development, and you should know both the things, like iOS, Android, both the things. So this is, and you can go into ML, machine learning, ML, AI, whatever you say. You can go into AR, VR, augmented reality, virtual reality. So you can move into this, and then there comes research. Why I am counting research as a development field? Why? I'm coming into that point. I am considering research as a development field because whatever you learn while studying about machine learning, any algorithm, maybe KNN, maybe like linear or anything, any algorithm you learn while studying ML, from where that algorithm has originated. That algorithm has originated due to a huge research performed on that particular topic. A long analytics research is performed for that particular topic, and then that algorithm is derived, and then on that algorithm a particular code has been written. So research is also an important development thing. A lot of people do their research in IITs, good IITs like IIT Bombay, IIT Delhi, etc., and they get proper guidance. Like people suggest that if you are doing a research internship or doing a research project, you should do with some professors and societies of IITs. Like they are recommended one. I don't have like a great experience in research field. I don't know much about research field, but I considered this as a development field. So if you are interested in research, you can, like, there is no pressure that you should do this or you should do that. It's all your choice in which direction you want to go. Other than that, we have other fields like GitOps, DevOps. So GitOps, DevOps, and middleware. We have middleware. So we have multiple fields, but for a beginner, most of these fields are unknown to them. Like people generally have this, and this. These three buzzwords in their mind, and they want to move on to that. And it's okay, because initially we don't know much about development fields, and we only know about these three words, and we want to go into it. And it's okay if you don't know much about it, you want to enter in these kind of fields, it's okay. You can proceed. Once you are comfortable with a bit of development, you can then switch your field, obviously. because no one lifetime stick to a particular field. For example, if I was initially working in field of web development when I was in second year or third year, then I moved on to machine learning and all, then now I am working on middleware, GitOps. So no one can like spend their whole life on a particular field. They have to switch their field according to the job, or maybe they're according to interest, or maybe if they want to contribute to some open source project, and there they got some interesting project but they don't know about that particular field, so they learn that particular field just to contribute to that particular open source project. And it's okay, it's okay to shift your field. It's very good to shift your field, so that you get a very vibrant idea of different fields, and that is something which makes you unique, and you can participate in the conversation of every field, you can talk about every field. So that something that adds a star in your skills, in your learning. So it's okay initially if you are moving to these fields, it's okay. Now how can you choose between these fields? So what I say, if you are a totally beginner, you should start with either web development or mobile development. And between, how can you choose between these two? So I'll say start with web, learn basic front end, then move on to some backend framework. That backend framework can be, if you are going with Python, so that can be Django. If you are going with Java, that can be Spring, that can be Node, that can be Ruby, anything. So you can go with any kind of these backend framework, work with it, make some small project. If you find it interesting, if you find like you love this thing, you love doing web development, it's okay, you can stick to it. You can find open source project in it, you can do courses on it, you can make good projects on it. This is one thing. If you don't find web development very engaging, if you don't find it very like you are not having fun while doing web development, you can obviously explore a little bit about mobile development. You can learn Flutter, Android, anything. So in Android, you can learn about these frameworks. You can learn Swift, iOS, etc. So these kind of things, you can obviously learn about these things. So then explore little bit of this, little bit of this. So that is T-shaped learning. What is T-shaped learning? First, explore the bit. That is, you have explored a bit of web, you have explored bit of ML, bit of mobile development and all, and then in which your interest relies, go into the depth of that particular thing. So this is T-shaped development. This T-shaped development, first of all, enhances your skills, and then also helps you to cover your depth knowledge about a particular thing, for which you can mention in your resume that you have a specialization regarding this. You are a web developer, you are a Java developer, you are a Python developer, or anything. So you can mention those things with a highlighted word, with underlined thing, that I have especially I have worked with multiple things, but I have a bit of a specialization in this. So this is how you choose your development fields. Once you are comfortable with development, what you can do, some suggestions, like some basic suggestion points which you can follow is, first of all, I want to talk about resume. How early you start making your resume, that is very important, because some people think that we need resume when we are going to sit for placements. So I say no. First of all, you need internship, and you need internship generally in second year and third year. Many people who have good guidance, who have good support from their family or maybe from colleges, etc., do their internship from their first year itself. So they have their good resumes and internship from the first sem of first semester. So start making your resume from the first sem. I suggest, even if you have nothing great to write in the resume, you can mention your 12th. You can mention from where you are doing BTech. You can mention the languages you have learned in your first sem. You can mention your volunteer experience. You can mention your interest, or maybe something like that, or maybe some achievements or a scholarship you have achieved till 12th. So you can mention these kind of things initially. Later on, when you develop skills, you can add them. When you get some work, when you get some internship, you can add the column of work experience and remove the remove the other thing, anything you find not correct, you find like not relatable to your profile, you can remove out of these. Later on, when your work experience increases, you have good projects, and you find like your one page resume doesn't have enough space for these things, you can remove 12th education, you can remove basic awards and all that are earlier than 12th standard, so you can remove this and you can mention the important thing. But how early you start making your resume, that will be more helpful and productive for you. So always have this in your mind that you should start early making your resumes, because if you will start making your resume from first year, you will get a lot of time to have iterations over it. You have a lot of time to make it to get it reviewed by a number of people, to improve it multiple time. And even if if you are in an emergency condition, like you want your resume on just a click, like you are applying to something and you need a resume, you will not have this thing that first give me 2 hours 3 hours and I'll start making resume and then I'll give some resume. So start making your resume early, even if you don't have anything good to be mentioned, so that you have a good resume till second year and you can provide that resume. Even if for getting the first internship, they'll ask you to submit your resume. So if you think that you don't have any internship, but you may mention in the resume, so when you will create your resume, then only you will get the internship. So it's kind of a deadlock, but it is what it is. So this is how things work while doing programming or basic development or making improvement. Then only this is the beginner thing, like how to start. This was all I was discussing about how to start. Then you can make your choices, you can decide your path, you can decide in which field you want to move on, what you want to do. Even you can like feel like you don't want to do coding anymore and you want to quit. Although I don't think that coding is a very boring field and anyone would like to quit it. So I believe that if someone has started doing it, he will get addicted to this particular field and he will never quit this field. It's all about developing interest. It's all about finding fun in this particular field. So just invest a bit of time, invest a bit of hard work, consistency in this, and you will definitely develop your interest, and you will never find like I am not good fit for this or anything. You will stick to this particular field till the last breath of your life. So that was all about how to start and how to make your decisions. Other than that, if anyone want to ask questions, and I'm just having the look over the comment section, so we'll now anyone can ask questions or put their questions in the comment box directly. Okay, so we have lot of questions.
Yes.
Okay, what is different between C++ and C language? So C is not object-oriented language, and C is parent language of C++. So C is kind of very old language, and we generally don't prefer, like we don't recommend you to start with C. Although C is part of BTech curriculum, I have seen in a lot of college, in IP colleges especially, that they used to and they are still teaching C in the first semester. So I prepared Python first is good. Yes, you can pick any one. You can pick C++, you can pick Java, you can pick Python, any of them. No one is going to stop you. And if you get some people who are against you that you should not go with Python as a first language, you should not go with Java as a first language, or C++ as a first language, just direct them to me at the rate @DareCoder at any platform like Twitter, LinkedIn, or anywhere. You can direct them to me, because I have points for all these languages, like for Java, C++, Python. They all are good at their own places, and these are the basic languages. Some have pros and cons in some fields, some have pros in some fields, some have cons in other fields. So they all are equally good. It's just us on which the choice depends.
So we have another question. Can't we choose C just a query? She has written something.
Like you can choose C, but it's not something we'll recommend. As I told, that C is an older language, and C is a parent language of C++, and now we have moved on to C, C++, and object-oriented programming languages are very important in today's field, and you can't escape from OOPS in any manner. You will require the knowledge of object-oriented programming for doing development. In any case, like you are doing development in any field, irrespective of what field you have choose, you would have to do this. So that's why, for like adjusting to the development environment, and you will not feel something alienated there, that's why we are recommending that choose an object-oriented programming language.
Now, another question. Good evening, ma'am. My question to you would be, which language will you choose between Java and C, C++, and why? Plus, please give a current market value of that language in India and outside of India as well.
Okay, so for like first of all, C, C++, like which language will you choose? So that's question, if that is dependent on me. So initially, when I was in 11th, 12th, I learned C++. Then when I was in college, first sem, obviously, BTech colleges, so they teach C. So then I learned C. And then when I started learning data structures and algorithm, I preferred Java. And from the day I started learning Java till today, I am working with Java. I do development, that is web development, with framework based on Java, Spring Boot, etc. Spring Boot, Spring MVC, Hibernate, etc. So I do development in Java. I choose open source projects, like I have been outreach intern with Open Refine organization. That organization has project based totally on Java. I am working with Red Hat projects. They also have middleware project based on Java. So I have made my field like this, that I try to find projects based on Java. I love to work with Java, but that's that's like my opinion, and I'll not force or like pressurize you to go with Java. I feel Java and C++ are equally good, but I'll not suggest C at all. Learn C, that's okay. Learn C, that no problem. But if you are moving forward, you should continue with C++ or Java. It's easy to shift to development environment if you are working with Java. And for C++, getting projects that are core entirely oriented on C++ is pretty much difficult, especially in open source. You will get some GNU based projects, or maybe kernel based, or Linux operating system based projects. So they are in C++. These are some of the projects that are based on C++, but there are not like a lot of projects in development field that are totally based on C++. And even if you can notice that there are no web development frameworks or on any other development framework that is totally based on C, so C++. So that's why I prefer Java, so that you can easily shift to development environment. But for competitive programming, for data structures and algorithm, you can go with Java, C++, no problem at all.
Respected ma'am, I just wanted to know that what mistakes to skip in first semester and how to start, because I was also going to follow college curriculum. If you are not there to guide me, please reply.
Okay, so I'm not saying like don't take my words in a wrong direction. I'm not saying that don't follow your BTech curriculum at all and get bad grades. No, this is also like a myth if you are having that kind of mentality. I'm just saying that being a topper or anything will not help you a lot. Like I have a university rank 1, and I will not say that what I am today is because of that. Somehow some subjects are very important in BTech, like operating system, DBMS, compiler design, computer networks, advanced computer networks. These are some of the subjects you will get to study in your like second year, or maybe third year, or maybe fourth year. So different colleges have different curriculum. So these are some of the subjects that you should definitely focus on. Data structures, it will be on second year. So these are some subjects that are like worth to give attention and to study carefully. So you should definitely study them well. But other than that, like investing your whole time in the college curriculum and getting only good marks in BTech exams, it's not like that, and things doesn't work like that. In good companies, they have this mark criteria. So like you should have greater than 7 CGPA. So if you have marks greater than 7 CGPA, that's very well good enough. Don't go for like 9, 9.5, 9.8 CGPA. Don't move in that direction. If you are above than 7 CGPA, it's enough. You will be able to sit in all the internship, all the placements. So this is enough in terms of BTech curriculum. What are the mistakes? First mistake is what I think is, when we enter in the college, in the first second day, a lot of like college societies and all, they come and introduce themselves, like we are the coding society and all, and we will help you and all. And then they some societies charge money. And if you really think that that is worth to give money to those societies, give them. But if you feel like, no, I can have these things free of cost, you should don't move to them. And understand how to start. Like if they are directing you to just directly jump into some larger level of contest, larger level of platforms and all, don't go to those kind of platforms, because at that time you will feel demotivated, when your rank will be pushed down, when you will continuously encounter failures. For example, you participated on the Code Chef long challenge. There is 6 questions. You attempted first, you got wrong answer. You attempted second, you attempted third, you attempted fourth, and in every question you got wrong answer, and you felt like you are worthless in this field and you don't deserve to be in this coding. So that will be a demotivating phase. So start with shorter targets, start with like easy problems, start with easy level platforms, etc. So first of all, do this, and don't involve with such kind of groups or seniors which motivate you to just like waste your time in parties, clubbing, fest, etc. Participating in fest, etc. is good, but like spending your whole year into that is like stupidity. Participate, go into some 1 or 2 fest, explore how fest works, how to like do partying, etc., how to be social, how to mingle with friends, how to like bunk your colleges, etc. I have done same things, but don't be like, I'll do only this thing because I have got this life, I have got a great college, I have great fest in my college, so I'll attend all of them, I'll organize them. You organize 1 and 2, participate in 1 or 2, just to explore, so that you don't feel isolated with the college culture or college life. If someone asks you like what it feels to be in a college, you are totally blank, that I have done only coding, I know about coding and I don't know anything about college culture. So don't be that person also, but don't like totally invest totally all of your time in these kind of things.
Next question, how to be motivated daily to learn code for beginners?
How to be motivated daily to learn. Okay, so so motivation comes from like when you feel that this field is made for you, you are finding good success in that. And success, I will say, not like directly getting a good internship or maybe getting into Google Summer of Code or something. First of all, for daily thing, I'll recommend everyone to practice daily challenge over lead code, because that will create a feeling that every day at least I have to do one problem, at least that is the least count. Like everyone should do 9 to 10 problems every day. But if you will follow this thing that you have to perform, you have to do one problem every day at lead code, that is you have to complete the daily challenge. So that will like always maintain your streak, always maintain that feeling that how to be motivated. And from this, everyone maintains, like some people maintains Snapchat streak and they feel that our streak shouldn't break. I should get up and send someone a snap to everyone so that my streak should be maintained. they do, why they do, why do they do this kind of thing, so that their streak should not break. They do this for this thing. Okay, so that feeling will be imbibed in yourself when you will perform lead code daily challenge, that my streak should not break over lead code. So that will be one kind of motivation. Second kind of motivation is like make a target that I have to get selected in Google Summer of Code. I have to get a good internship in Facebook, Amazon, or something. I have to crack outreachy. I have to like get a good job. So these are the motivation. These are the motivation that will motivate you to learn every day. So have these kind of dreams. Having a big dream is not something like people laugh at your dream initially, but later on they will understand that people who don't dream big can't achieve big. So dream big, and that big dream will be your real motivation. Where do we get CodeChef or Spot? You can just like search CodeChef, so codechef.com, Spot. So these are the platforms to practice competitive questions, and these are competitive platforms. They also organize different contests where you can participate. They also have different hiring contests also, like through which you can get internship jobs, etc. Especially Hacker Earth or Hacker Rank. Many companies like you can say American Express, Microsoft, and BNY Mellon, etc. These companies organize their hiring contest also over these platforms. So these are competitive platforms to practice competitive questions. See, time
Is Coursera I learn is good?
in course, Coursera, some courses of Coursera are really good, and like if you have to buy the course, then don't go for it. Like you can apply for like financial assistance over Coursera, and you for so that you get the free courses from Coursera. And many colleges, like our colleges, provided uh, special IDs and all for accessing the Coursera, so we can access a lot of Coursera courses for free. So try to have those kind of things and access the courses for free and do those courses. Else, whatever content you will get on Coursera, you can easily get that content on YouTube also. If you are doing Coursera courses just for certifications, then don't do it, because certifications don't matter at all. Like these kind of certifications will not add a lot of value to your resume or anything.
Next question. Should we be doing paid internships?
Paid internship, like you are paying them to provide you internship? No, never ever. Even if you should not do free internship. Like you are not paying anything, they are not paying anything. Even you should not do such kind of internship. Internship is what you are doing work from them. At least, like, okay, they are not providing you good stipend, it's okay, but they should provide like nominal stipend, like 5k, 7k, at least this kind of thing. Never ever go for paid internship. If you are paying them to provide you internship, rather you can invest your money in some kind of institutes, or in some kind of like we in Code for Cause, we have courses with minimal price, like minimal price, like prices you can never get at any other platforms. That is only to provide support for students who can't afford expensive courses. So that's why Code for Cause has released courses at 3k, 4k, these kind of costs, and 3 months courses, 6-month courses at this kind of prices. It's something unimaginable totally. So if you are going to pay, so pay on these kind of courses, improve your skills. Don't go for such kind of internships. Like you are doing work for them and you are paying to them. Like you are doing work for them and paying for them. This is ridiculous. Never do this thing.
Next question. How to get internship?
How to get internship? First of all, like improve. So first of all, do DSA, learn a language, all those things, and explore a development field. Because if you don't have any experience in development field, you will not get an internship. You can get an internship based on DSA in product based companies like Google, Amazon, etc. But you have to learn. Like there is no shortcut. Skills should have to be developed. So focus on your skills first. In whatever year you are, first year, second year, third year, no matter. First of all, try to develop some skills, try to build some basic projects, some very basic projects, so that you can mention those projects and their GitHub links, etc., on your resume. So then only you can get an internship. And for getting an internship, getting a job, that's very important to apply regularly. Don't hesitate that I am applying every day, I am applying like 10 to 15 jobs, 10 to 15 internship every day. Don't hesitate, especially when you are from tier 2, tier 3 colleges. Apply a lot, don't hesitate. Sometimes it feels like I'm applying every day, I'm not getting reply from these companies. Like 90% companies don't even reply if you don't have referral regarding to that post or company. But it's okay, apply a lot. Don't hesitate in applying, because if you will not apply so regressively, you will not get the job. So if you see like some people post that I got job over here, internship over here, just understand that fact that they have applied very actively. They have applied, then only they have got this 1 or 2 selections.
Next question is, Unity development worth it?
Yes, if you are interested in game development, Unity development is worth it. If you are interested in game dev, definitely you should go for it.
Next one, what are some open source projects we can contribute to as beginners to get hands-on experience with real life projects?
Okay, so never think like this, that I should get a beginner kind of project for open source, because in open source, what will matter, what thing you can mention in your resume, when the organization will be good enough, when the project will be good enough, then only you can mention the open source contribution in your resume. So don't go with the beginner, because always if you think about beginner, you will be remain at the same point all these years. So you have to push yourself at some point. So just go on to Google Summer of Code website. If you have some kind of like development experience, first get some skills in development field, in any field, whatever fields we have mentioned, in any field. I'm not saying in web, in Android, in any field. Just get some skills developed in any of these fields. Then go to Google Summer of Code page. Move to the organizations. There will be a list of around 200 to 250 organizations. Each organization will have their idea list and their projects. Projects are those in which the GSOC students got selected. Idea list are the proposed projects from their side in which you can contribute. So from there you can get links to their public channel, links to their GitHub project, detail about that project, and you can start contributing to those projects. So you will get a number of organizations, a lot of projects, like around 1,000 of projects, and you will get project regarding each and every technology. Whatever technology you are currently learning, I'm sure that 98% the chances are there that you will get at least 1 to 5 projects related to that particular technology, even if the technology is very rare or very niche kind of technology.
Good evening, ma'am. My question is, does any college student should know all 3 programs for his or her placement? Do they ask for requirements that they need only that particular language?
All 3 programs, I think he was trying to say all 3 programming languages that I mentioned. Okay, so no, that's not a compulsion that you should learn all these 3 programming language. Anyone is good enough, good to go. Some companies have this particular language requirement when the post is something like when you will specifically apply, when you will apply for SD, SD1, etc., for software, for SRE, SD, etc., then there will not have this restriction of language. But when you will go for a particular position, like you will go for Python developer, you will go for Java developer, these kind of posts, then obviously there will be a restriction over the language. But when you will go for general posts like SRE, SD, there will not be any kind of restriction over language.
Next question, ma'am, if we have learned one language, can we go for hackathon, I think, and CodeChef, etc.?
Hacker Earth and 𝐂𝐿, etc. Yes, yes. If you have learned one language and you are comfortable in that particular language, you know syntax of that language, you know about some basic libraries of that language. For example, if I talk about C++, if I talk about C++ and you know about STL libraries, you know syntax, you know how to write classes, functions in C++, you can move on to Hacker Earth and 𝐂𝐿 for sure.
Please share your story. How did you all started Code for Cause? What were the challenges?
Okay, so Code for Cause is an organization, is a startup. So we started Code for Cause just when the pandemic hit the world so badly, and everything was shattered at that moment. So everything got shattered at that moment. That is very true, and especially the student community felt like, how will we learn at this particular time? Most of the institutes which were like offline institutes were closed at that time. And at that time when we started Code for Cause, like in April 2020 we started Code for Cause. So deadlines were there regarding GSOC, outreachy, MLH, etc. So deadlines were there for submitting their final proposals, for making contributions, etc. And we established Code for Cause with an ideology of open source and open knowledge. We all the team members in Code for Cause, like Kunal, Anuj Bhaiya, Ganga ma'am, we all are open source contributors, open source enthusiasts, and we believe in working with open source cultures. So that's why we tried to help them regarding this field. We tried to teach a student, and for teaching a particular student, you don't need to have an expertise in that field. Any person can teach the other person who is having a little less knowledge in that particular field than you. If you just know basic Python, and the other person is there who don't know anything about programming language, you can at least teach the other person the syntax of Python, how to write code in Python, and aspects of Python, object-oriented programming and all. You can teach them. Obviously, you are not a teacher, you are not an expert in Python, but you can always teach the other person. So that is the thing. For teaching, you don't need an expertise in a particular field. You just need knowledge more than the audience. And our audience was very beginner friendly and was like, they don't know much about programming and all. So we started this thing with a YouTube channel. Then we created platform. Then we created our own projects, open source projects, so that people can contribute it. And then we started taking requests from students, like how to contribute. Then we started our own boot camps. We have 30 days ML boot camp that is totally free, available on our YouTube channel. We started game development boot camp, Java DSA boot camp, and much more things are over our channel. And you should definitely have one visit at Code for Cause YouTube channel, and you will definitely find something that was you were really looking for, that particular thing. You will definitely find one or two videos that is something very relatable to you, and something you are really looking for, that particular thing. So we created our channel in a manner that is totally requested by our students. That is not what we are trying to post, or what we are trying to express to other person. It is totally what the students requested to us. So this is how we established Code for Cause. And then after ML boot camps and Java DSA boot camp, the huge success of boot camps, people started requesting for personalized mentorship and personalized courses. Like, they are not comfortable in YouTube and all, and for that we launched small courses. Some are 6-month training courses. 6-month industrial training courses are the courses which will include from very zero knowledge of a particular thing to the development. Like, if you go for the web development track, you will first learn data structures, algorithm, then you will learn JavaScript as a language, then you will learn basic of web development, then you will create around 30 projects during this 6 months. So 6 months courses are this. 3 months courses are something where you only want to learn competitive programming and you have some knowledge in a particular language. If you just want to learn data structures, you don't want to learn development. If you just want to learn a particular framework, so 3-month courses are designed in that. And we are like openly challenging, and the prices you will say that for content like this, for this much content, the prices are like unimaginable totally. So you should for sure you should visit codeforcause.org, our website and our YouTube channel, to see if you find something relatable or not.
Next question, ma'am, please tell me which of the two is better, practicing CP on one site and having stars only on that, or having decent profile on 4 to 5 different sites?
No. If you have decent profile, even at one platform, like if you have a good profile on Codeforces, like you are a red coder, or for example, you are a 7-star coder at CodeChef. If you have a good profile at one platform, that's also enough. You don't need to maintain your profile on 4 to 5 different sites. I initially told that sticking to 1 or 2 competitive platforms is enough. So stick to only 1 or 2 platforms and maintain rating over that only, and mention the links of those platform, like whatever your profile link is at CodeChef or Codeforces or anything, mention that in your resume so that anyone can know that you are an extremely good competitive programmer.
I think that's it. No other questions.
Okay. So thank you everyone for attending the session so long till the end, and do visit our YouTube channel and website. And if you want to personally connect with me, so you can connect with me at any platform, on Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, anywhere you can connect with me, or like you can ping your queries or anything which were not covered in this session, or maybe guidance or anything at @DareCoder. So any platform, this is my universal username at all platforms. So yeah, so you can connect with me. And especially thank you Dharashri and Abhishek for organizing this wonderful session, and thank you all the participants and attendees.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for this session. It was really amazing, and I hope everyone learned a lot. And thank you everyone for joining.
Bye bye everyone.